Hey gang, BA here with your weekly crypto market update. Today is Saturday, December 18th, 2021. And here at the Blockchain Cartel, we're focused on three things. Number one, we want to help you learn about crypto investing. Number two, we want to show you how we trade and invest. Number three, why we are so bullish on the crypto narrative going forward. With that being said, let's take a look at our narrative, and that is number one, we firmly believe that the legacy stock market investments and their models are bleeding out slowly, and those models are dying. We believe firmly that Bitcoin will outperform legacy investments going forward, and then we are out to prove that we can focus on strategies with low cap crypto gems and blockchain tech that will completely trounce Bitcoin returns. That's what we're out to prove. This is our narrative. Before we go any further, we are not financial advisors. We cannot offer financial advice. These investments are extremely risky. You can lose everything. All right, in today's video, we're going to cover the current market conditions, levels when we think the bull market's going to resume, what we've done over the past week, and then some of the things we're looking at going forward. Let's get started. All right, so long term, and I'm talking 5 to 10 years, we're extremely bullish. Everything I've looked at shows that adoption for blockchain technology is taking place faster than in any other technology to date, which includes the internet. Next 3 to 6 months, I am targeting, these are my levels. No guarantee we're going to hit these, but I am looking for start taking profits on all of my portfolios at that $107,000 to $140,000 range. I'm expecting 30% pullbacks and greater all the way to the top multiple times till we get up there. We don't know when that's going to take place. It could be the next 3 to 6 months. It could be the next 3 years. We don't know. This, as a trader, this is what I'm looking at to get out of my portfolio, those levels right there, and then recock at lower prices. That is just one of about 3 different scenarios. If I completely miss the mark here, then I'm holding my entire portfolio until the next up cycle. All right, current market conditions, we are bearish. We are consolidating at the lows. Bitcoin is what I'm really referring to. Altcoins have been obliterated. You can spin a wheel with any altcoin listed on there, throw a dart, stop it, and you can find one at a bargain. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So the two things I'm focused on is trading and holding. So long-term holding, I'm accumulating what I believe to be quality coins at extremely low prices. For the trading environment, I'm not doing any trading right now. I'm waiting for the bullish trend to resume, and then we will go in there and start pushing the pedal to the metal on short-term trading strategies. All right, this is why we're so bullish, is we believe we're somewhere in this on the S-curve of adoption. If we're right, the steepest descent is ahead of us. Here is a look at the previous halvings. Hey, and just my thought on the halving right here. It's had incredible effect on prices over the past. I believe, again, my own opinion is that as this becomes adopted more and more, a more sophisticated investor profile comes into the equation, and I think we'll probably, again, my opinion, could alter the 4-year cycle that we're seeing here. So we could see that playing out before our very eyes, this time. But anyway, it's worth noting where the halvings are and how the tops and bottoms play out. So currently in this cycle, we're here. This arrow right here is the same length, same number of months as this arrow right here. And you can see we stopped right at the December time frame for a potential top. We're still holding this logarithmic uptrend line right here, which is bullish until proven otherwise. And anyway, that's all we have for that. All systems are still go from a bullish standpoint as far as I'm concerned. All right, so just to give you a look at what I'm really playing for, where I get those targets from, let's look at the logarithmic curve for Bitcoin. So over here on the left-hand side, you can see the tops tend to shake out. We've got the stock to flow model and the logarithmic curve all plotted in the same thing on both charts. You can see Bitcoin tops out here up in the upper end of the logarithmic curve in the upper band of the stock to flow model. Same thing here, exact same thing plays out, upper end of the curve and at the upper band of the stock to flow model. Third time, same thing. As a trader, I have to continue to play the same setup until it stops working. So in my mind, we're still tracking towards getting up into this red area, and that's why I say the lower end of that's about 107, and it really goes up a little bit higher than that. But if we get up into the red band on this, this is where I start scaling out of my profitable positions. I won't come all out at once, but I'll certainly scale out as we start to approach and get into that red zone. All right, this is just a blown up version of where we're at right now. You can see that arrow right there kind of pinpointed the top in the market. I mean, I have no idea if it's going to play out or not. I'm not playing for that, so it doesn't cause me to alter my approach in any way, shape, or form. I still believe, as long as we hold that trend line, hold above some of these key levels right here, then we are still on our way up to that area. Okay. All right, now let's look at let me go back just a second. These are all weekly bars right here on both of these charts. Let's go back to a daily time frame and kind of look at it in a more granular perspective. The upper chart right here is price of Bitcoin daily time frame. You can see here the huge flush down. This was the panic bar. Those typically provide very good places where I mark off the range. We've got this price level here. It's around 53,000, which I believe is fairly significant. And we will not resume the bull market until we close on a daily time frame above that level right there. All right, so the first check would be a close above this fractal, this swing high. Second check would be a close above this swing high. Third check would be above this swing high, and then final up a close above that 53,000 level right there. So it could do it all in one day. I mean, that's just the nature of how markets move out of these low pockets right here. You can see this light gray line is a trend indicator that I use. It's very effective for the way I like to trade. We've got to close back above that, and you can see it's starting to approach that line right there, which coincides with a potential breakout area. So anyway, that's what we're looking at for Bitcoin. And I will, in this area here, I'm adding long-term HODL positions to my portfolio. In this area above here, I stop accumulating long-term positions and I switch to a trading mode. I go to my short-term trading models and I start trading to the upside, ramping up, trying to take advantage of those moves. Back in here, back in low areas that we had back in the middle of the year, I'm adding what I believe to be high quality coins to my long-term positions. Okay, here's another reason for us to, on the bottom chart here, to kind of think that we're just in a short-term pullback. So you can see this light gray line is the price of Bitcoin. This goes back to May. The high, lower high, and then we crash going into July, where we make the low. And then from there we've been rallying higher low, maybe second higher low if we gather some ground and pull this thing up right here. But what I really want you to take a look at is the light blue line. This is all courtesy of Glassnode, which provides a lot of on-chain metrics that is kind of like looking into another dimension of what's taking place underlying the price of Bitcoin. So we can see here as what this is the supply. It's called supply shock ratio. So it's just what are these investors in Bitcoin doing with their Bitcoin? Are they moving it off the exchange and locking it up into cold storage, or are they, which would imply accumulation, or are they selling it in the market, just dumping it? So here you can see they are dumping Bitcoin in the market. As Bitcoin makes this high, they're dumping it, and then we get the flush out to the downside. It doesn't bottom until, probably a latter part of June time frame, but then accumulation starts taking place. Bitcoin rallies. Bitcoin breaks to the downside, accumulation still taking place. Bitcoin rallies. Bitcoin pulls back, approaching that 40% level, 33 to 38%. And what do we see here? Large accumulation taking place. So evidence points to further upside. We don't know if we're going to get another flush to the downside or not. You never know that. But anyway, this tends to lead you to believe that we have higher prices coming at some point in time. All right, here's an update on, we're just going to cover one of our strategies here, just so that you can, this is kind of our flagship right here. What we're trying to prove in strategy 2 is that we can beat the returns of Bitcoin and S&P every quarter. That's it in a nutshell. We're going to do that by focusing on low cap gems in some of the exchanges where these low cap gems tend to reside, which is KuCoin, and we may start going over to Gate.io. But in the process, this is kind of where we're at. So this is really getting close to the end of the first quarter for us putting this into play. We started with $1,100. We currently have a $672 profit. We've had a huge drawdown, just like the rest of the markets. So this black line here represents our equity curve in strategy 2. So you can see right here, we started with $1,100. We've currently got, $1,700, almost $1,800 in what I consider a very, very crappy market environment. But we're still up 61% for the quarter. Bitcoin is only up 5.7%, and S&P actually pulled ahead of Bitcoin. S&P's up 7.28% in the same time frame. So we still have about 2 weeks left, a little bit less than 2 weeks left in the quarter for Bitcoin to rear up and trounce the S&P. Odds are, if I were a betting man, I would bet that that's what Bitcoin's going to do. It'll pull it off and beat the S&P's returns. If Bitcoin rises, so will our portfolio. It will rise as well. We've taken a lot of profits in this thing when we first started. That's why we're able to hold the gains that we have right now, because you can see right now we're not making any adjustments to the portfolio. This Sol 3, it's a leveraged position. I was willing to lose everything that I put in. This one goes against my typical rules over here. One of the rules I violate, but this was one that I used profits from another trade, was willing to lose everything. We're not over yet. If Sol 3 rips, this thing will come back with grand fashion. So anyway, that's an update right there. Let's see what else we have. So, summary, strategy 2 is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Beat the returns of just simply holding Bitcoin and absolutely trounce the S&P. So we're doing that so far in the first quarter. All right, so here's what we did in this past week in all of our portfolios. Long-term holding positions, the week of 12 through 18 December. We bought SIDUS. It's a gaming token. A lot of anticipation over that one on its launch. We bought it on Gate.io. Alluvium ILV gaming token bought on KuCoin. Immutable X, it's a platform Ethereum based for NFTs where they're reducing the fees significantly. It's KuCoin. And then we bought FTM. It's a layer 1 solution on KuCoin. We didn't sell anything in our long-term holding portfolio. No changes to strategy 2. Strategy 3 is just a strategy where I take advantage of opportunities as they arrive. There's no portfolio capital constraints in this one. When I see an opportunity, I just take it. So here's what we did for this one. And some of these I may add more to and move them over. And this is a trading strategy, but I may move these over into my long-term holding strategy. So that we did, we bought Gods Unchained. It's a gaming token. Bought it on KuCoin. We bought Hero from Meta Hero, gaming token on KuCoin. We sold GoMoney2, GOM2 on KuCoin. Sold 3/4 at a 218% profit. Sold the remainder for 412. We rolled all of that into Immutable X. So we paid for that whole position right there off of the profits from GoMoney2. For staking, we added to the staking protocol time just a little bit, not much. Again, I'm not adding enough to that where if I lose everything, I'll lose any sleep over it. In fact, I won't even. It's just a small ledger entry into my portfolios, so not a big deal at all. Okay, let's see what we have here is watch list. I'm looking to add these to our long-term HODL portfolio. So the categories for music, I'm looking at Opulus and Soundcoin. For gaming and Meta, we're looking at Rainmaker and Thetan Arena. ZK rollups, ZK Sync, what's not out yet, and then fan tokens, the Juventus fan token. And so that's what we've got going right now. Hey, if this video was helpful to you, please hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for up-to-date releases. This is BA with Blockchain Cartel, hoping you have a good trading week going ahead. BA signing off.